This is Land of Havilah. Ecclesiastes 10 is a chapter of short proverbs, so we'll take them one at a time. It reads more like a chapter from the book of Proverbs than a chapter from Ecclesiastes. Verse 1. Dead flies cause the oil of the perfumer to produce an evil odor. So does a little folly outweigh wisdom and honor. Comment: a reputation can be ruined in one moment of folly. And we could also say one small mistake or one small flaw can ruin an otherwise perfect plan. One bad business decision can bring down a business empire. One bad decision can bring down a presidency, and so on. To repeat the ending of it, a little folly outweighs wisdom and honor. Verse 2. A wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart is at his left. Comment: the idea in play here is that a man keeps whatever is most important to him at his right hand. In war, he straps his weapon on his right hip because that keeps it at his right hand. As King Solomon kept wisdom at his right hand because that was his most important tool. So in the proverb, a wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart is at his left. The point's that our heart's of utmost importance, but a fool neglects that. A wise man keeps his heart at his right hand, making his heart a priority, and a fool on his left, meaning the fool puts it on the back burner, we might say. Verse 3. Yes, also when the fool walks by the way, his understanding fails him, and he says to everyone that he's a fool. Comment: that's basically saying you can spot a fool a long way off, even when he walks by the way, meaning when he walks down the street, down the road, everyone can see he's a fool. He gives himself away. It's obvious what he is, even from a distance. Verse 4. If the spirit of the ruler rises up against you, don't leave your place, for gentleness lays great offenses to rest. Comment: looking through the various translations, the ones that make most sense on this proverb are to the effect that if your superior is angry with you, don't leave your place, meaning hold your ground, because a calm and confident explanation on your part will placate your employer's or your ruler's anger. The best way to present yourself to him is in a calm and confident manner, sticking to your original position. As it is for any proverb, we have to discern when and when not to apply this one. This proverb applies when our position can be justified. If there's no justification for what we said or for what we did, it's not a good idea to stick to it. The next proverb spans 3 verses. Verse 5. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, the sort of error which proceeds from a ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. I've seen servants on horses and princes walking like servants on the earth. Comment: Solomon's seen a great evil proceeding from the ruler, meaning he's seen a ruler making a grave error. In verse 6, of greatly dignifying folly. The ruler gave honor where shame was due, and he went on in the proverb with the equally egregious shaming of the honorable. Those he should have shamed, he honored, and those he should have honored, he shamed. Misplaced honor and dishonor are travesties. Let's be careful whom we honor and dishonor. Verse 8. He who digs a pit may fall into it, and whoever breaks through a wall may be bitten by a snake. Comment: the purpose of digging a pit in the proverb is to trap someone, and breaking through a wall in this proverb is to break through a city wall, attacking a city. All that can backfire on you, Solomon says. You might even get caught in your own pit and get bitten by the snakes that live between the stones and the wall. In short, it's perilous to attack or to set a trap. Verse 9. Whoever carves out stones may be injured by them. Whoever splits wood may be endangered thereby. Comment: the carving out of stones is the quarrying of large stones. It's hazardous work, and swinging an axe to split wood is hazardous. Certain things are risky. The next proverb mentions axes as well, but the point of it's completely different. Verse 10. If the axe is blunt and one doesn't sharpen the edge, then he must use more strength, but skill brings success. Comment: having skills like having a sharp axe. Skill makes the work a lot easier and more successful. In the extreme, certain things aren't possible at all without skill. Verse 11. If the snake bites before it's charmed, then there's no profit for the charmer's tongue. Comment: a snake charmer runs the risk of being bitten. Probably the gist of it is that if you do work that's inherently dangerous, or you have a dangerous hobby, or participate in a dangerous activity, obviously you're pretty confident that you can get away with it, but be aware that you might not. Verse 12. The words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but a fool is swallowed by his own lips. A wise man avoids personal attacks. Rather, his speech towards others is gracious. A fool attacks, slanders, disparages, criticizes, throws shade, and pays for it. It comes back at him. Of course, since there's a time and place for everything, every proverb fails in certain situations. Mostly we need to keep the peace, but now and then we might need to attack. Speaking of the fool, verse 13. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. A fool's speech ranges anywhere from foolish at best to evil madness at worst. The thing that makes foolishness is that there's at least a tinge of evil madness in it. Verse 14. A fool also multiplies words. Man doesn't know what will be, and that which will be after him, who can tell him? A fool makes a lot of assumptions. In his ignorance, he makes a lot of speculative and reckless statements about the future. Verse 15. The labor of fools wearies every one of them, for he doesn't know how to go to the city. The gist of it is that a fool should stay out in the countryside. If he goes to the city, he'll only weary everyone with his foolishness. Verse 16. Woe to you, land, when your king is a child, and your princes eat in the morning. Happy are you, land, when your king is the son of nobles, and your princes eat in due season, for strength and not for drunkenness. Woe to the land that has a child for a king, and when its leaders are more interested in living the high life than they are in tending to serious business. Verse 18. By slothfulness the roof sinks in, and through idleness of the hands the house leaks. Homes were likely small, simple, and built by the owner. If the roof was sagging or the house leaking, good chance the owner was lazy. Verse 19. A feast is made for laughter, and wine makes the life glad, and money is the answer for all things. Of course, Solomon knew money doesn't solve every problem. He said many times in this book that money and everything else is vain. Ecclesiastes 2:18, 5:10, 5:12, and 5:14. His point in the proverb is not that money is the answer to everything, but a surprising number of things. Verse 20. Don't curse the king, no, not in your thoughts, and don't curse the rich in your bedroom, for a bird of the sky might carry your voice, and that which has wings may tell the matter. Inevitably our thoughts leak out to the world and are broadcast, so we should be careful what we think. It's amazing how that happens. We assume our thoughts are private and that our private utterances will stay private, but our thoughts are not private and our utterances are not either. Ecclesiastes 11 is next.